And we're down to the final last 2 laps of racing. There you go, 2 to go. Big part of the race here now. Will this man launch an attack? Oh, he's even taking a look over. He knows he's got Brandon Dwight now gapped off the back of that group. He has not been able to shake Jake Wells. Wells unbelievable today. And you can see Wells just mastering the craft for the 2008 season. But it is going to take a massive effort, no question, to beat Pasoka. Brandon Dwight keeping himself in the mix here as they're looking at about 1.5 laps of racing. Now, how about Brandon Dwight just coming back, taking body blow after body blow and responding? That's interesting to see the different lines they're choosing. Dwight deciding to run on the shorter distance on the inside. Looks like Pasoka is following him. Gotta love it. Jake Wells deciding to take the outside line, carry a little more speed, but now Brandon Dwight is counterattacked out of this group. It has been ruthless here today in Boulder, and now Brandon Dwight is putting in a massive effort. He's been in the bank, he's got the money, and now he's in the getaway car. Wells taking a monster pull that time, is able to nail back Brandon Dwight, so Wells right there on Dwight's wheel, and you can see some of the good folks of Colorado Racing coming out today. Quite a few were cheering for that man, Brandon Dwight on the front, Jake Wells and Matt Pasoka. Now, Pasoka looks like he's poising himself to launch another attack as we look at Jonathan Baker trying to come back to that group, and that is one thing these gentlemen do not want to see, because Baker will be ferocious if he's able to join this lead group late in the race. It's amazing how much that momentum difference can make. But Brandon Dwight now hits hard again, trying to get rid of Wells. It seems like everyone's trying to get rid of Wells today, if they aren't able to do it. But how many times can he go to the well? There's your man who's going to try to ride his way up into this podium group, but there it is, virtual podium. Brandon Dwight on the front. Jake Wells once again covers. Cover and kill has been the modus operandi for Jake Wells today. What a terrific job. You look at Pasoka now, technically flawless. You could say the same thing about Brandon Dwight. Brandon Dwight now setting up a very tricky corner here. Does not have any trouble with it. Neither does Wells. Neither does Pasoka. So everyone is through. Look at the effort on the face there of Jake Wells. It's not like Matt Pasoka's mailing this one in either today, as they both try to hang on to that wheel of Brandon Dwight. Brandon Dwight doesn't look like he wants this to go down to a sprint. He's trying to get that gap. There he goes to the whip one more time. Ruthlessly flogging himself. The kick now starting to line up here, because you can see that is Matt Pasoka is your Colorado State champion. He came out of that group of 3, but what a ride by each and every one of those gentlemen. We witnessed some great racing here today at our Colorado State Cyclocross Championships. See Jake Wells congratulating Matt Pasoka. Let's grab a word with Neil Rogers and our race winner.
Congratulations, sprint finish. It looked like maybe you were in a little bit of trouble there in the last lap or so.
Yeah, I mean, those guys were riding well. Brandon was phenomenal. I mean, I don't know, 3 to go, he was off the back, and I was trying to push it so he wouldn't catch back on, and he caught back on and pulled us around the ray for the last 2 laps.
How much did the wind turn this into a little bit more of a road tactic type situation?
Well, I was trying to make sure I wasn't on the front on the downhill here. This is where the wind was the worst, and do my pull on the road on the way up where it was easy.
When we saw you maybe 3 to go, you were dropped and then you had to claw your way back on.
Yeah, my seat kept slipping, and at one point it slipped so far down, or it angled so far down, that I had to stop and hammer it back into level spot, and then I just bridged back up. But by that time I spent a lot of energy and I didn't have much left at the end. So.
Kind of got a gap on Brandon with a couple laps to go. I think he had some seat issues, so Matt and I were working together trying to make that stick and just come down the 2 of us. But Brandon's tough, man. He's able to come back and close the gap up. So, then it definitely turned into tactics for sure, especially with the wind. So just tried not to do as much work as possible, and knowing it's coming down to a sprint. So just tried to go with Matt whenever he went around me. So.
They say in cyclocross is different than road racing, and that the road racing is sprints at the end, cyclocross is sprints at the beginning. After an hour of going at the limit, what's going through your mind in that last uphill drag when you've got to sprint it out?
You hope your legs just don't lock up. That's the thing. They get all twingy and start cramping. Usually for me, with like 20 minutes to go, so then it's trying to do damage control. So when it comes down to a sprint, you're hoping you do everything to just keep the wheels on.
Thank you.
Matt Pasoka for Velo News taking the win. Jake Wells of Mafia Racing in second. Brandon Dwight rounds out our podium for Boulder Cyclesport. John Baker, Chuck Coyle, Christian McCarthy, Alex House, Kurt Rev Snyder, Yannick Ekman, and Alan Krugoff round out our top 10 here today. We want to thank all the good folks at Velo News and velonews.com.